Miss Osuna here with another dramatic croquis pose. This time she'll be standing on one foot and the other one's up. Let's get started. Set up your paper with the oval and the straight line, and then measure. We need a total of 9 head spaces, or if you're doing a 10 head croquis, then you need 10 head spaces. Now we're going to start with a C shape, or a parenthesis facing the right. So go to about 4 1/4, and the bottom of your C is around 4 1/4. It's on the left side of our center line. That is the buttocks. From there, we're going to go horizontally slightly upward, and then another horizontal and add in your circle, and that's going to be for the knee socket. Now we're going to do the upper portion of our body. So go to 4 1/4 on the right side and make a parenthesis facing left. We need 2 of them. This is the back, and she's arching backward. 2 parentheses slightly facing left. Now it's time for a very long parenthesis on the right of our center, and at number 8 it's back to the center. That's for our left leg. The knee socket is at 6. Go around and down, land on the right and left of that knee socket. And then we're pulling out our calf muscle. And you're going to throw in your ankle socket. I'm putting mine at 9. Put yours at 8. I'm just doing mine on a 10 head croquis. If you're doing a 9 head, put your ankle socket at 8. All right, now we are going to do our foot next. So we have a parenthesis facing left. Then we have our triangle shape facing the right. And we're going to go back up with the parenthesis facing left, the backward letter C, and connect the triangle. It's a soft smile shape. Up next, we measure our leg. So if you want to have knee to ankle, that one is going to be from 6 to number 8 or 9 if you're doing 10 heads. And if you wanted to measure your upper thigh, that's 4 1/4 to 6. So measure and just double check to make sure that the leg that is up in the air is the right measurement. Then we're going to move on, and we are going to put the rest of our upper body, just drag it to the left. Now the shoulder guideline has a little bit of a smile shape to it, so it's not a perfectly straight flat line. It's curved just a little. Now let's put the center of our upper body. So just draw in that curve right down the middle of your upper body. And you see it'll connect down to the leg that is supporting our model. All right, double check that the shoulder is 1 1/2 heads wide down to the 3. And make sure it's also at the 1 1/2 position. So the shoulders are 1 1/2 heads wide. So you just go back to the 1 1/2, down to the 3. And that's your measurement for how wide the shoulders are. And the shoulders also start at the 1 1/2 position. Next, we need a guideline for the leg that is up in the air. And that again, our knee to ankle. So that is from 6 to number 8 or 9. And then put in your lower portion of the leg. So just make sure the guideline, once again, is the knee to ankle measurement, and then flesh that out. Put in those soft parenthesis shapes on the left and right side of that guideline. Then we're adding in the foot. All right, so for our foot, we're coming down with the parenthesis softly facing left. And then we have our rounded like a smile. Then we go back up. the other parenthesis facing left, and then the back of our ankle with a C shape. All right, I'm just going to clean up some stuff and erase a little bit here, and we will move on. Okay, now we want to add in our bust guideline. So the bust is lower than our shoulders. So we're going to add that guideline in and then put in your smile. That smile is for the bust. Remember, the profile of the bust sticks out on the right side of our paper, and then push that up towards your armpit because the arm is going to be up. So make sure you push that upward. And then we will build in our sockets right in that area so that you know exactly how wide to make the armpit. So now that we have the idea of where the arm is going to go, let's measure. So we're going to measure 1.5 to 3, that is shoulder to elbow, and make sure you put the socket for the elbow. And then we are going to measure once again from our 3 to 4.25, and that's elbow to wrist. In this case, some of the hand is going to hide behind the hair. All right, we're going to put in a little bit of the shoulder, the horizontal to the shoulder. And once we put in a little of the shoulder on the left and the right, look to see where's the middle and start to put in your neck. That's kind of like a letter J. And round that off. Make sure it goes around that socket. Okay, guideline for the arm, right down the middle. And this arm is fairly straight and then it veers a little bit off left. Measure 1.5 to 3, pop in your elbow socket and flesh that out, making sure that you measure. And then we're doing 3 to 4.25, and that is elbow to wrist, and flesh that one out using those soft parentheses that we've been using the whole time, making sure you taper at the elbow and wrist socket. Then it'll be time for the hand. Right side of our paper is our thumb. On the left side of our paper is going to be the fingertip side. Now we are going to have a W shape in the middle for the bending of our knuckles. Okay, we're going to get ready to do the head, and it's going to be looking towards the left side of our paper. And remember, you draw it a little lower than originally. It needs to be about 1/4 inch longer. So your total head is now going to be drawn 1.25 in the length, facing the left side of our paper. All right, so we're going to do the hand, and it is going to be hidden behind the head like we discussed earlier. So it's just your 2 diagonal lines coming from the wrist socket. We'll add in the fingers for hand number 2, and it is just going to be 3 straight lines and then your J shape on the bottom for the fingertips.